When the president says he's a wartime president, do you feel like we're at a true wartime footing when you have governors like Andrew Cuomo saying they're not getting the critical medical supplies they need? I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, but I'm saying, is this nation in a true wartime footing, as the president puts it?
Well, there's always bickering, and there was bickering in war too. Generals bickered all the time. You know, look at the history of our wars. It's analogous to a war. It's not like World War II or World War I, but it's analogous to a war. But what I'd like to point out is that, you know, I'm reminded of a book by Reinhold Niebuhr, a great American theologian, called The Children of Light and the Children of Darkness. The children of light see everything optimistically, everything's going to turn out fine. Children of darkness see everything's never going to turn out fine. It's all going to be awful. And we need to have a balanced view. It seems to me the president has a balanced view. Some people are absolutely impervious to good news, and there is some good news coming out on these fronts. Look, the testing is now at a massive level ahead. We have tested more people than South Korea, which is the model. The mortality rate is holding at a very low level, and primarily for people in their late 70s. I say that with no joy. I'm over 70 and have a couple of underlying conditions, but nevertheless, that needs to be balanced. There's hope for things like hydroxychloroquine, which has proved to be successful in some cases. And the president is pointing us toward Easter and reminding us that it's a big country. New York has a terrible problem. 60% of the cases in this country are in New York. A lot of the rest of the country probably can go back to work sooner, and we need to be ready to do that.
And the critics who are jumping on him seem to think that he has a one-size-fits-all, when, as you just pointed out, he and Dr. Fauci both said at the White House podium last night that this could be something that's sort of phased in, rolled out. And Dr. Fauci said we need to be flexible, which is important. Let me quote from your story. What a sane society needs to ask, you write, is the national fatality rate of the disease and what is the result of losing everything else. I assume you're talking about the economy. I want to point out there are a lot of people in this country, though, reading stories like this and saying, wait a second, are you saying you're willing to let a certain number of people die to make sure the economy doesn't die? There are people who hear this. I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but they hear this and they jump on it and they say, Bill Bennett, you're heartless.
No, I'm not prepared to see anybody die. But as the president has pointed out, you may see more people die as a result of a totally destroyed economy. Think about what's going on in some homes right now. The Wall Street Journal talks about this morning. We're seeing a rise in opioid abuse. We're seeing alcoholism, child abuse, domestic violence. There are costs to this kind of thing. And as the president pointed out, it's not just about money or money versus life. He talks about the American people as people who want to go to work. Self-respect is tied into work. We can do both. We can focus on the people who are most in danger, and I think we're doing a better job at that. Look for these cures, and at the same time, keep this engine running, and that engine is the engine of American society, both our health, our well-being, and our happiness. And we can certainly do both. I think the president's been very balanced about that, and I think he's got the right grasp of the darkness, but he's pointing us toward the light. And I got to tell you, Ed, there are some people who just want to see the president fail. Hate to say it, but if you read, people are saying it's the end of America, it's the end of the American experiment, America's in decline, this proves it. It's not. America's going to get through this.